Hello, everybody out there in Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever way you're watching this. It is your personal injury attorney, Derek Bernstein, here with a professional from the Tampa Bay area, Todd Graisley, a longtime friend and professional, here to talk to you today about what Todd does, which is social media, basically generating videography, things of that nature. So I'm going to start this series where I'm talking to great professionals in the Tampa Bay area about what they do, how it ties into the law, and kind of just give you, my audience, some good advice on your businesses. So, Todd, tell us a little more about yourself.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me in here, Derek. And what I do is my background is a lot in sports journalism and media, and also branding and building content for businesses. We've done stuff for athletes. And everyday people, and I think that's really important, is to build your brand, make yourself marketable, and ultimately help you make money and help people invest in what you're doing.
So Todd, when you say essentially build your brand, I know a lot of people who are watching this video, they either work for a company or maybe they are entrepreneurs and they are trying to make money on the side, or they're trying to build something for themselves and their family. When you say build your brand, I know what that means, but kind of what do you see it as?
Absolutely, and I think there's a lot of ways to build your brand. I think, one thing that I specialize is in video content. We're doing these videos to get out there to let people know what you're doing from a legal point of view, and also what I'm doing from a business point of view. That's getting and building your brand. That's being marketable and getting out there. I think social media is another big one. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Build those pages, build those followers. Get that audience to relate to what you're doing, to want to buy in to what you're doing, and that makes business a lot easier.
And I totally agree with you, Todd. I think we were just talking before we started this video, but essentially we were talking about how, Todd has children, I have children, families at home, the grass needs cutting, everything needs to be done, and there's only 24 hours in a day to be able to be out there and talk to people. And there's great groups like BNI, and there's great after work drink events that you sit down and you talk to people. But I think when you're looking at it, social media, correct me if I'm wrong, bang for your buck. You get out there from your computer on your break if you're trying to build something else, or if it is your business. You can do it from anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a computer or a phone, and you can reach as many people as your heart can get out there and try to touch. So
I think you hit it right on the head. Convenience, Derek. I mean, you like you said, you can reach not just the people that you want to reach and the people that you know, but it's also expands out further than that. If you like something and you share something that I post, then your audience sees it, and if John's audience sees it and shares it, and then rather than passing it to 100 people, if those 100 people share it, now your audience multiplies by that factor. So it's getting it out there, it's getting those posts, it's getting it frequent, and keeping people coming back and wanting more.
So I know a lot of people too, Todd, when you're talking about getting this content out there, and I know from you as a videographer, essentially, why do you think? And I agree. I think video content like what we're doing here is better than words. I mean, to me, I don't want to read a
Absolutely.
5-page document. What do you think is the reason why video is better than just writing?
I think for a couple of reasons. I think the attention span of the average person, they don't want to read. They want to hear about it. They want to see it. The old adage, show not tell. When you're writing an essay, show me, make me feel there, make me feel like I'm there. I videotaped David Price's charity event or BJ Upton's charity event. I can write about it, but if you're there and you're in the moment and you're hearing from David or hearing from BJ or hearing from Mike Allstott about why they should give to these foundations, that's 10 times more impactful than me just writing about it.
Yeah, and I think too, we all have cell phones in our hands. It is, it's insane. A lot of people today, they don't even have cable. People are cutting the cord. They're not even doing their social media from their desktop. They're literally doing it right in their hand. And as they're scrolling, Facebook, if you ever notice why they do the auto starts rolling, or if you're on Instagram too, I like to just start searching and see what pops up and see what goes there. But I think it's really great when you're just rolling through and your friends, and next thing you know, you own, you know, an independent little burger shop, and the next thing you see on your page is just a juicy, mouth-watering, you know, steak sandwich. And guess what? It's 4 o'clock in the
And
afternoon.
it appeals to emotion. I mean, that's what it's all about is posting frequently. And I think what's also important is mixing it up. Like, you know, show some videos, show some photos, and those are all things that I can help with in promoting your business and getting that content out there. Whether it's multiple platforms, and I think, you know, there's people out there that are great in social media. They're great in getting, you know, you found on Google, but I think there's more to that. I think you have to have those different components. I think you have to have pictures, you have to have videos, you have to have some text. I think that balance is what separates average social media from above average social media and content marketing.
And I think you maybe touched on the head there, because I see, you know, there's a lot of people out there, you know, selling things, and what they're trying to do is you'll just see the same thing over and over.
Absolutely.
Buy this thing, buy this thing, buy this thing. And usually when I get the buy this thing, buy this thing, buy this thing,
it's bye-bye.
Yeah, it is. It's bye-bye. I mean, I click unfollow, so I don't have to unfriend them. They don't know I didn't unfriend them.
Right.
It's a great tool if you have people that are bothering you, but you don't want to maybe make too much waves. But, you know, that's why I'm trying to do these videos and trying to do videos with Todd, because essentially I'm giving you something here. And, you know, I think Todd's an expert in this field, so that I'm not just saying, call me up for your car crashes. Call me up when you slip and fall. Call me up when you have a fight with your spouse and you need a divorce, or getting locked up for a DUI or whatever. So I think it's really good to do video, pictures, uplifting things, giving people good advice. If you sell burgers, you know, tell people how to pick out meat at the store. If you're doing milkshakes, you know, tell them how you do it. Because look, I can cook a good steak. I'm still going to Burns, because they do it better. So, you know, if Burns is telling me some things, it's not, you know, just the take. So I think when Todd's talking about what he does for people and building things and doing videos for athletes, maybe smaller athletes who don't get all the recognition, they're not on the Bucks, they're not on the Rays.
I think that's important, because I think, you know, and I had this discussion. I just went to the Manchester United game and was with my brother-in-law on the way back, and we had this discussion. Is, to me, everybody has a story, whether it's, you know, Jupiter Donuts in Palm Harbor, in my neck of the woods, and how they started, or Mini Donuts in Tampa. Their stories are different. Whether it's, you know, Curtis Mitchell, who's a, you know, world champion in track that many people may not have heard of, or Usain Bolt. They have different stories. They have journeys. They have different processes of how their businesses work and why people should go there. Maybe, you know, they're super local. Maybe it's a family-owned business. And that's the great thing about, you know, life in general, is that everybody has a story, whether it's the guy down the street or the mom-and-pop business.
And I think that goes back to what we were talking about when it's branded. And that's your brand, is your story. There's a reason if you watch like American Idol,
absolutely,
and it gets people sucked in, is because at the beginning you learn about the girl who lost her family and then rose up from nothing to come and become something, and here she is sitting in front of
you.
And
now you root for them. Her, right? Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that works with business in general. Is I want to, and I've learned over my time as an attorney, or, you know, and just multiple things, is people want to do business with people they like, people they can trust, and people that they feel like they're making an impact with their dollars.
Absolutely. I worked at a television station in Orlando before I moved down here, and I did high school sports. And the sports anchor, I remember Guy Rawlings said, you know, you always want to have the best sports anchors are the ones you want to grab a beer with. You know, if you can sit there and watch a game with them or chat with them, those are the guys you're going to watch to and you're going to relate to and you're going to want to watch sports from. It's the same thing with lawyers, doctors, business people. If they're good people, you know, they give back to the community, they give advice, they give their time. They're not just trying to sell their product 24/7. Those are the people you want to buy into. And if you can make those people relatable, those businesses relatable, and get those fans or those customers or whatever it is to buy in and to feel a part of the process and feel a part of something, they're going to give back to you.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it is really, you know, the way I look at video content, the way I look at marketing, it's an extension of the business. And some businesses, you're in the grind. every single day. And you got to be, if you're on I keep going back to restaurants. I used to work in restaurants.
Right.
But, you know, you're up early. You're making the sauces. You're grinding the meat. You can't be doing that and something else. So,
or doing them effectively. You know, even if you are, you might be able to sneak in a post here or there, but you're not going to be able to do it effectively. And that's where somebody like myself comes in, and I can run that. You make the meatballs, you cook the pasta, you run the business. I'll run the branding and the marketing to promote the business. You do what you do well. I do what I do well. If you have a good product, it makes my job a lot easier. Helps us buy in, and then people are gonna, like I said, want to buy in.
Yeah, and then that also, you know, goes for targeted marketing. You want to make sure that, you know, I don't do a lot of areas of law, but like an area that I would never probably get into would be immigration. I don't do immigration, so I'm not going to target immigration. I know a really good immigration attorney, Ahmad, my smoking buddy down there at Ruby's Elixir, basically, but he does a great job. So, you know, I can push out content for immigration of what I know, or I'm going to try to get Ahmad to come sit down like Todd is sitting down, and we talk immigration that way so that I can reach Ahmad's, you know, his clients, he can reach my clients, and never feel bad. I was talking with my wife the other day, never feel bad for wanting people to come to either your establishment, your law office, your doctor's office, because when somebody gets in an injury or somebody is hungry or whatever, they're looking to get good representation or good food or good value or good content, and there's nothing wrong with you providing it for that person, because they can go to any place down the block and they might not get that same service. So you're out there trying to do good, and I think when you try to do good, good things come back.
And you never know when they're going to need you. You know, they might come by and come by and watch this video on immigration, and Ahmad's clients might not be your clients. But at the end of the day, they might be like, oh, well, Susie needs help with this. I watched Derek's video with Ahmad. Maybe he can help them. And the same with us is, you know, with bringing me in and for content marketing is, you know, there's other people and other businesses who may watch this and say, man, I need a Todd in my life. I need a Todd in my business to help them and help us and get where we want to go and grow our company from a media side.
And I know not everybody is at the level where you need somebody like Todd to come in and shoot, you know, because Todd can make just magic happen on your social and things like that. But for the people who are just starting out and they're selling, you know, I just saw online keto shakes.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't have the income coming in, Todd. What kind of advice do you give to somebody who has a cell phone? What can they be doing right now so that in 5 years they appreciate what you're doing and then they call you up when they're ready to explode?
Right, and I think there's magic in a cell phone. I mean, you told me, said, Todd, come in. I said, I didn't bring the cameras. I just came from Miami. And you said, it's okay. We're just going to use your smartphone. And with technology these days, it's great. You can just sit down. You can use your smartphone. And you can talk, and we can sit down, and, you know, we just had a conversation 5 minutes ago. I said, how long is this video going to be? He said, 30 minutes. I said, 30 minutes, Derek, man, come on now.
I think we're at about 13 right
yeah,
now.
And
we touched on
a couple things.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing, is just bringing in experts and talking. And, you know, one of the things, my motto is bleed passion. And I think if you're super passionate, people realize that.
Yeah.
People can see through fake and facade, and they'll realize that.
Yeah.
But if you're passionate like you are about law and me about, you know, social media and content and marketing and the whole dynamic of media, it comes through to the audience, and I think they see that.
I agree with you, because there's a difference between somebody selling jewelry to make a buck, and I think it's very transparent. You can see right through that this is the next fad thing they're just trying to sell on you.
Absolutely.
Then you look at some of the best brands in the world, which is, say, like Nike. Yeah, I think their advertising is fantastic. It is, we want you to get out there and do it and live your best life. Just do it.
Just do it.
You know, live your best life. Be out there and
Absolutely.
enjoy sports and rec and all that.
Right.
And you're like, oh, Nike's in it with me.
Right.
I need to wear
We're all
Nikes.
in this together.
We're all in this together, exactly. So, you know, compared to the person just trying to sell you shoes, which goes away, you know, and that's why, I mean,
it's easier to sell something that people want.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, I have that same line of discussion is You know, you see a lot of the products online that people want you to buy into, and they're convincing you to buy into it, and you're like, you know, I don't know if I want that. I don't know if that's for me. But if it's a product that people want, they're gonna buy it, and if you can make it visually appealing or make, you know, their senses and look at that good juicy cheeseburger, or make them buy into your personality, people are gonna want that. And it's better to get something that somebody wants than something that somebody is you have to convince them for.
Yeah, and I think that's what it comes into, and that's the whole thing is when you're looking at creating content, when you're looking at what am I putting out online, you really need to slow down. You really need to sit down and say, this is my vision. This is what we stand for. In a lot of companies, they'll come up with a mission statement.
Right.
You know, this is what I want to accomplish, and then make sure everything you're doing plays into that, as you said, like your mix, so that you're not, you know, if you're doing a business page on Facebook, you know, you're not mixing the business and then posting a
Picture of your dog.
Well, I like dog pics.
All right, well, there you go.
Dog pics,
There you go,
you know,
you know.
But you know, don't go political, don't go controversial,
Right.
don't go this, don't go that. You know, a lot of people don't know where my politics stand. They don't know where I stand on a lot of things, and I do that on purpose because I'm not trying to alienate somebody out in the community.
You're trying to preach what you're doing with your practice.
Exactly.
You're not trying to.
I'm not trying to get into that. I'm trying to give positivity out there, give people some free advice, because you don't always need to pick up the phone and call a lawyer. I've told people before, have you tried calling the guy and asking him to pick up his dog poop or whatever before you sue him in court? And they go, well, I haven't thought of that. So I try.
We got one of those in our neighborhood.
Everybody
My
does.
son calls him the poop monster, but yeah.
Yeah, so you got to call up the poop monster before you sue the poop monster.
Well, there you go. Free legal advice
Yeah,
today.
so you know, you got to be giving out things, and I go back to, you know, the burger joint. You know, I would love to see some of my favorite places showing me, hey, this is how we cut our onions to get them sweeter. This is how we do that. We do that. People are not just going to stop coming in for a great burger because you show them how to cut the onions.
Right.
But what they will do is at their next barbecue, they're going to cut the onions, and they're going to say, somebody's going to say, oh man, those are really good. They're going to say, oh, I got that recipe from Burger Joint or whatever the name of the place is.
I mean, Outback had a bloomin' onion, and now how many other people have something similar, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and everybody tells it. So the average person, when I was in grad school, the average person on marketing tells 3 people if they have a good experience somewhere. If they have a bad experience somewhere, they tell 9. So you want people to see your content, see what you're doing, buy into you. They're only going to tell 3 people compared to the 9 if they have a bad experience or if they don't like your thing. So just to wrap that little thing up is, when you're talking about content, when you're talking about pictures, when you're doing this or that, you want to stay professional, unless your target is not professional. But you want to stay on focus, on target, so that you are getting the most out of it. Because if not, then you're just wasting your time. And doing this type of stuff isn't, 2 seconds. It's a lot of thought that goes into it.
Absolutely.
But that's where somebody like Todd can, if you do have the resources and you have got a little bigger of a venture going on, can make sure that you're not wasting time, effort, money, so that it is playing into your SEO, your search engine optimization, your search engine marketing, your targeted marketing. Everything is funneling into one.
And at the end of the day, like Derek said, those negative reviews are tenfold. If you can do positive stuff and showcase the positive that you're doing, whether it's an athlete in the community, a business in the community, behind the scenes, here's our story. Those are the stories that don't get told. The minute something bad happens is the minute those bad reviews, your business comes crumbling down. So why not build it up, build it positively, and do that through video, through marketing, through social media. And I think that's something that I can help you with, and I think would be a great asset to any individual or any business at any level.
Yeah, and it's not even just a business. I mean, we know a lot of people, it is election season has started up.
Absolutely.
And how many people have you seen? I follow people who are running, who are doing good video content with their platform.
I mean,
I watch online the 2 best people who are doing video content last go around: Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders.
Right.
And politics aside, as a marketing strategy, I saw a lot of videos.
Right. And video is key. I mean, videos,
especially on
click,
Instagram.
click. They get the views up. They get the people engaged. Engaged viewers are what you want. That's how you build an audience, build those followers, and ultimately build your brand. And I think that's important.
And I think that's when, you know, it comes to is build your brand, build your followers, build your vision, and then at the end, then when you've built so much goodwill, so much good things, then it's very easy to ask somebody to come on down. We're
Absolutely.
doing this. Here's an event. I'm going to be out here, you know, handing out things, or I'm running for judge or for Congress. I'll be out here. You know, I need somebody to give money to continue my efforts. And they go, you know what? I like this person. He's a family person because I saw 15 videos of his family. He likes the same music as I like because he was out there at the music festival.
Right.
They do this, they do that, the other. The next thing you know, you're getting the votes that you wanted because you laid the groundwork for it before. But moving to another area, I really want to talk with Todd. And my background's I got my bachelor's in broadcast journalism too. And one of the things they talk about is if you're out there with your video, kind of some of the legalities of it. And a lot of people will say, well, you can't shoot this here, you can't do that. And I know that's more from a news perspective or things like that. But when you are out there shooting content, when you are out there looking here, there, the other, make sure that you're doing it from public property or your own property, that you're not taking video content from a Pixar movie and just putting it on your social media.
And same with music and YouTube, and there's copyright rules, so you have to be very cautious of what you use. It's not, hey, we can videotape everything or we can use whatever soundtrack we want because it's cool. So just be cautious on that. If there's a copyright to it, or you have a question of should I use this or should I not use this, go towards the side of caution.
Yeah, I agree, because when you're just the person out there trying to sell earrings online, out of your house, out of your trunk, whatever, nobody's going to care that you use the Drake song or the Mariah Carey song.
Or if it's a Snapchat video or whatever, the police aren't coming to your door to crack down.
But as soon as you start going in on somebody else's territory and you're selling more jewelry, you're selling more burgers, you're an athlete getting Instagram, the next thing you know, you're getting offers from Nike and Reebok and this and that, then all of a sudden you're
under a bigger microscope.
Yeah, the haters are going to come out.
Right.
And the haters are going to hate real hard.
The haters are going to hate always.
And they're gonna rat you out. So knowing that what you're doing is going to work, that you're going to blow up, that everything's going to be great, always prepare for the future. That when you do have your YouTube channel and people are subscribed to it, like mine, you can go on YouTube and just search my name, you'll find my videos. You got to know in the future, hey, I want to make sure everything is good, because you are setting yourself up for success. But really, when you're shooting video, I always use the adage of if you can see it from public space, or if you're on public space, then you're fine. So if you're talking about a car crash and behind you is the street, you're good. Now, if you're looking and there's craziness going on and you want to do some funny videos because your brand is funny, and people are getting into a fight on their front yard and they come up to you and tell you to go away, that you have to leave and you can't do this and that, you can't shoot video here, if you're doing it from the sidewalk, technically you can. So the rule is essentially, and there's case law on this, but you want to, if you can see it, essentially it's pretty good. Now you don't want to have the newest Samsung phone with the 70 million zoom. That's a little more than you're going to get in trouble for that, and you could get in legal trouble. And if you are doing well as a business, you have that big target on your back to get sued. So you don't want to be dumb. Obviously, you don't want to start confrontations, because those can get dangerous, and no amount of clicks or views or likes or shares are worth that. So everybody's got a family to come home to do that as well. But Todd, last thing I wanted to talk to you about is Todd's a sports guy.
Absolutely.
I'm a sports guy.
Talk a little sports.
So we can talk sports and law, but Todd, one of the big things that you do and you're passionate about is sports, and you go to, I see on your video content, because I subscribe to Todd's YouTube page, is you're at PGA events. I think you're at the one in
I was at Valspar.
You just came from yesterday from...
I was at the Manchester United Real Madrid game. I went to the Pro Bowl. So a lot of fun things and adventures over my time.
Yeah, and Todd gets all the credentials and never. Well, no, you invited me last year to go to the Marlins Park for.
I did.
And I didn't go because it was on Monday and I was lazy. I didn't want
Awesome.
to drive there,
Well,
and it was
well,
actually
sorry.
really awesome because Aaron Judge from the Yankees
He did.
won the home run
And
derby.
he put the hammer down.
And I was pissed that I didn't go, but 4-hour drive there and back, I got lazy. But Todd's had a lot of events, shooting videos, shooting content, so he knows a lot. He's a big baseball fan. We grew up, watching baseball, playing baseball, things like that. The Rays,
Yeah.
they did some moves yesterday.
Yeah.
Some good stuff.
Yeah, Chris Archer went to the Pirates. Very friendly contract that they inherited.
I think I said you've done some stuff with him in the past, correct?
He was at David Price, and he was at the charity events as well. And then we traded the Rays traded Wilson Ramos, the All-Star catcher, to the Phillies. Earlier in the season, they traded Longoria. They traded Nathan Eovaldi earlier as well. So the Rays making some moves, getting some great prospects. Their approach has always been sell while they're hot, play for the future. But as a fan, you start to get tired of this. You start to you start to root for these guys, and kind of like building brands. They start to become a part of the family. You start to see these guys, and then like Evan Longoria in the beginning of the season, he's gone. Chris Archer gone. I know all the ladies out there, are praying that Kevin Kiermaier doesn't go soon.
Oh, yeah. I have no comment on that. But, but that's one thing you're looking at is, and I think, from some of the things is their philanthropic efforts. And sometimes when you get these big guys as well, like Longoria is making just straight bank, David Price is making good money here. These guys give back to our community.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing that through the video content I've seen.
Absolutely.
I went with you doing
Longoria,
David
Duffy's
Price
and yeah,
so it really,
Duffy's and stuff.
it really helps our local economy, this video content. And if they do establish something here, compared to waiting for them to leave and do this and the other, they're going to come back here where they've established these connections through social, through whatever, and really set up their brand. So, I mean, it's really important at the ground level. I know, if any athletes are watching this,
absolutely,
to build your brand because, obviously, you're trying to re-sign, you're trying to get that big money and things like that. These intangibles go with it. I mean, if you're looking at like good guys, I look at like a guy like Jameis Winston right now with these allegations and the Uber and the this and the that. He needs insane amount of help rebuilding his image.
And it's funny. A couple of things. Evan Longoria has a couple of Duffys. There's a Duffy's down the street. There's a Duckies. Duckies in the airport. So he's.
And they're having like some sort of bowling networking thing. I think I saw online tomorrow.
Absolutely, and the Rays are having all kinds of events. And you mentioned Jameis, and he's done a lot for the community.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute you do something bad, the community forgets.
Oh yeah.
And they don't really forgive. It takes a lot to earn.
A lot of time.
It takes a lot to earn that back.
But I think people are forgiving.
They are
over time.
But those.
You gotta kind of disappear for a while.
Right, those instances make you relevant in a bad way for a really long time, and you have to do a lot of good to make up for that bad.
Or you gotta be so good that you get the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
And it really doesn't hit you, and that could go from years of marketing, branding, where people look in somebody like Aziz Ansari. So all during the Me Too movement, which I'm totally for. People were bringing up, and I think a girl who had a date with him and things like that brought up some allegations. And as a lawyer, I talk in allegations, so you never want to talk in fact when you don't know if it's fact. So, if somebody says something out of court and they say, "Hey, Todd did this," that's hearsay. So you never want to talk about that about somebody else like it would be truth. So always say, "I heard allegations about Todd, about Jameis Winston, about this person," because you don't want to get sued for libel or slander.
And you don't know.
And you don't really know, so you should really keep your opinions to yourself. But I'm a very opinionated person. I'm clearly on YouTube with you, telling everybody what I think about things. So, pot calling the kettle black. But, if you look at somebody like Aziz Ansari, and everything through his social, through his comedy, through his characters that he chose and things like that. Tom Haverford loved that character from Parks and Rec. That went. He apologized. Essentially, if the person took it some way or the other, that's not how he saw it. That's what I read. And it goes away.
Right.
I don't know whether it happened,
Right.
didn't happen, whether the person who made the allegations is trying to catch a 15 minutes of fame or whatnot. But I think when you're looking at this marketing, you're looking at the branding, you're looking at like an Evan Longoria and this and that with the video content,
But
with the
build
Duckies.
a positive image.
That's the key, yeah.
That's what you're trying to do. Whether it's an individual, if it's a high school athlete trying to go to college and earn a scholarship, and you want to highlight on their positive achievements, their accolades on and off the track, on and off the field, their grades. You're always trying to shine somebody in a good light. I don't know anybody who wants to be business or person who wants to be shown in a negative light. And I think that's exactly what I'm trying to hit on. How can we focus on the good that these businesses, these individuals, you know, even these celebrities are doing in the community, in their field, and giving back, and how can we make them relatable to the rest of the community?
To the Joneses down the block.
To the Joneses down the block who have never been.
Yeah, so when they're looking to buy a jersey, when they're looking to buy a ticket, when they're looking to buy a hamburger, some weight loss pill or something like that, they buy it from you because they know you're a person of value, ethics, honor,
Absolutely.
and what you're selling to them is probably not BS.
Right.
And I think that's really critical there to long-lasting success, because you can always have quick, you can always pay, you can always throw a ton of money at Google to give you business.
Right.
And it will work. But that's not long-term success.
Right.
It's the one where that was cool, and next thing you know, you go, whatever happened
It's
to
going to
that?
get you 1,000 visitors, but it's not going to get you that story.
Correct.
Google's not going to write you that story. Google's not going to write you that, or make that video production for you. Google's not going to go post on their social media.
Yeah, and there's things that I'm learning more and more about it too, and there are programs out there, and somebody like Todd, he's not just looking to sell you. He's not just saying, call me up, sell me, do
Absolutely.
this, do that. You can reach Todd. He's on Facebook, his YouTube channel, things of that nature. He's going to be creating more content as well, where he can show you how you can do it on your own. It's not the easiest thing in the world. It does take time. It does take preparation. But you can do it until you get to the point where you say, you know what? I am successful. I do have this money. I do
Or
have
I
this
want to
brand,
take it to the
and
next
I
level.
want to take it to the next
Absolutely.
level. Let me give that off to somebody else. And I think as entrepreneurs or as businesses or as whatever people are trying to build, I think that's the goal, is to build something so that you can build on that and then have somebody do the things that you don't want to do. Do the things that you love. If you love
Or maybe not. Or maybe it's things that you're not an expert in. You go back to the restaurant scenario. Maybe you're an expert chef, and I'm an expert at content. So you cook the great food. I'll keep you pump it out,
and you just sit there
and I'll
do
keep
what
promoting it.
Yeah. So I think that might wrap it up here.
Absolutely.
I think we beat the dead horse.
No, it's a pleasure.
You need content. You need to be out there. Pick what works for you. Stay true to who you are, and reach out to me. I do a little bit of this content stuff, but I go to Todd every day. I mean, I'm a smart person. I have Google, but I have a living, breathing.
He has the real one.
I have a living, breathing Google who's out there in the community doing it
Absolutely.
every single day. So build a network of people around you who can help and support. And then, hopefully I get so busy in the future that I'm like, hey, Todd, come do this for me. And we never started that way. We met in 6th grade.
Absolutely.
And here we are, we've never done business together ever. And, I've helped Todd out. He's helped me out. But that's what it's all about. So, never look for the quick take, but reach out to Todd, Google him. Todd, you got your Facebook page.
Todd Graisley, TODD.